If you want to maximize muscle growth, build muscle faster, and even getting stronger, you want to go for simplicity. I believe that simplicity beats complexity every day of the week when it comes to building muscle and strength. The problem is that most guys think that doing more exercises, doing more reps, doing more sets will equal to more muscle growth, but that's a lie. What is important is mechanical tension, intent, and making the exercise harder every single week. If you follow these three simple rules, you'll make progress. And another big mistake most guys make is that they don't track their progression. They don't know how to progress. They just go to the gym, chase the pump, chase the burn, do a lot of exercises, half-assed. They don't put the intensity there. And next week, they don't know what to do. They change the exercises probably. Or if they keep the same exercise, they don't know if they should add more weight, do more reps. They just do the same thing over and over and over again. I've seen this a lot of times. People who come to my coaching do these mistakes. My friends that want some advice when it comes to training do the same thing. And I believe that doing one lift really hard will beat 5 done half-assed. If you do one set, one exercise really well done, will be better than doing 5, 4 half-assed, no intensity, no intent at all. And now I'm going to show you here what I consider a good training split and a bad training split. Here we can see is a very minimal plan. You have 4 exercises, 2 for chest, 1 for shoulders, and 1 for triceps. This would be like a push day. You have 2 exercises for push for your chest that you will put a lot of intent there and you will push really hard, and then you have 1 for the shoulder and 1 for the tricep. This does not mean that this is the best training split ever. This is just an example. And how do you progress here? You can see here we have 5 sets of 3 to 5. And what you want to do is, there's a lot of ways to progress here. You want to pick a weight that you do 3 to 4 reps max, and the next week you want to do 5 reps in every single set. And the moment that you do 5 by 5, you increase the weight. And then you repeat it again. You can start with 5 by 3. You start adding 1 more rep or 2 more reps every single week. The moment you eat 5 by 5, you add more weight. And there's a lot of ways to progress, and this is just an example. The chest press machine could be the same thing. You'll pick a weight that you do between 6 and 10, and every single week you want to do more reps till you reach the 10 reps, and then you add more weight. Or you could keep, for example, with the bench, 5 by 3, you keep the same sets and reps, and every week you do a little bit of an increase, like 2.5 kilograms, 1 kilogram every single week. And this applies to chest press also. And this is another rep scheme, but the thought process is basically the same when it comes to progression. You pick a weight that you do 12 to 15 reps. The moment you get to 15 reps, you add more weight. And as you progress, as you go week by week, and you got to a point where you cannot add more weight, it is very hard. What you can do is decrease the reps for 8 to 10 reps and start adding more weight and repeat this process. The moment you get stuck between 8 to 10 reps with a certain weight, you cannot add more weight, you'll try to increase the repetitions, and you can build it to 12 or 15 and then repeat the same thing again. And for the triceps, it's the same thing. This is another example, bench, overhead, dips, lateral raises. This is what I would consider a good training split. And then we have here what I would consider a bad training split. Too many exercises, too much sets, too much reps. And if you get to the cable flies and you can do in the last set 15 reps, it means that everything that you did before was for nothing. Because if you did really good sets, you would get here on the machine chest press, you wouldn't be able to do it properly. You would be too fatigued to even do this properly. And if you did it, would be with suboptimal loads. So you don't want your training split to look like this. Too much fatigue, too much exercises, it does not mean more muscle growth. And it can really do the opposite because you're too fatigued. So the problem, why are most people stuck? too many exercises, too many rep schemes, constant program hopping. This is a problem. People cannot stick around with the program for at least 3 months. Every month they try something new. They're doing calisthenics, then they try to do IROX, and then they try to do a hybrid training or whatever. And they have no clear progression. And this is what I was saying just now. Most guys don't know how to progress. And the evidence to back up what I said about doing less exercises will build the same muscle as doing more exercises or even more. There's this study here, and it shows that doing 2 exercises versus 6 exercises will do the same muscle growth. So you're basically wasting your energy and time here. You can injure yourself doing more and more and more. By doing the extra, there's like a marginal benefit. Like if you're a bodybuilder on steroids, yeah, this could make a lot of sense to do more and more and more to try to target all these little muscles that you need for stage. And also the rep schemes. There's a new study done by Manos. It shows that doing 4x4 versus 3x12 will build the same muscle. A lot of people still have this thing of lower reps, more strength, higher reps, more muscle growth, but that's a lie. Heavy loads will build just as much muscle. Strength focused training is easier to push. This means that on the long run it will be better for you to stay in the game, keep pushing, keep making progress. Doing high reps for long periods of time is very fatiguing, will burn you out. You can lead you to injuries really fast. So doing this lower rep approach could be a very useful thing for you that has been doing high reps for long periods of time. And why I like low reps: easier to measure progress, easier to push through effort, less mental fatigue, clear win or fail, builds confidence and intent. The simple system: pick one main lift, train hard, progress every session, the muscle will follow. If you follow this rule, you'll build muscle, you'll get stronger eventually. You just have to give it time for you to see the real progress. Pick one lift, train it hard, progress every session, muscle will follow. Progress every session, what I said in the beginning of the video, and that's it. Accessories, what I think about them. They're optimal, not mandatory. If you're a bodybuilder again, well, doing triceps, biceps, forearms, fingers, or whatever would make sense. A lot of sense. You should not skip them. But if your goal is to be the most aesthetic possible, the strongest possible, have a good physique, they're not mandatory. I don't train arms at all, and my arms are a decent size. Accessories can be used for recovery, weak points, and enjoyment. Accessories should be like 20%, 30% of your total volume of training. And they can be very helpful when done right. Because if you do them wrong, you could affect the progress of the main lift. And why simplicity wins long term? Less decision fatigue, more consistency, easier to stay motivated, sustainable for years. And if you want to go to the advanced level, this is probably the approach that you should have. And if you need help with getting stronger, getting a better physique, getting healthier, more energy, better sleep, go in the first link in the description, book a free call. Let's see if we can work together.